Sonata thus stared in the mirror. At the moment, she found herself very pretty, wearing the outfit she wore at the Battle of the Bands, exposed midriff and all. Also wearing a Canterlot Wonder Colts headband, ears painted to match her skin color perfectly. Couldn't remember how many sets she had gone through just to get the mixture right. Around her neck, a tie, amulet replaced with a ruby of similar proportions. Really hard to find one for realsies, but after scoring enough jewelry stores and pawn shops, the perfect fit. Played with it, watching it catch the fading sunlight. On her back, a pair of fairy wings snagged from a party store. Taken weeks to find the perfect pair. She giggled as she turned around to examine them, exposing her clip-on hair extensions. Easy to find. So many different hair colors in this world, it was just a matter of finding the right length. She thought they looked perfect. She turned to face the mirror again, thinking in her perfection. She glanced at the rose-colored plastic shade she had in her hand. And now for the piece of resistance. I wonder why they call it a piece of resistance anyway. Shouldn't it be a piece of irresistibility? Oh well, time to put these babies on. She carefully slid the shade over her eyes, world turning a beautiful shade of red. Color of love, life, of power. It was when Sonata saw red that the world made sense to her. It was the color of control, when she warped someone's mind to bend to her will. The color of the blood that flowed through her fingers in better times. It was the color she saw when she became a goddess. At the Battle of the Bands, Sonata saw pure red. She and her friends ensnared the hearts and minds of so many insects that night. She still felt their hearts beating, their muscles twitching, tasted their thoughts, dreams, hopes, fears as their fragile minds struggled against complete domination. She remembered the sweet aura of their existential terror as some of them fought her inexorable will. They battled so hard, really did, but they had no chance against her. She was perfect, and they were all perfect. Sonata frowned. If we were so perfect, how did we lose? Her eyes watered as she recalled the feeling of soul being torn away for her by equestrian magic that those stupid girls blasted her with. She reached out and touched the mirror, a reflection doing the same. She looked back into the mirror, seeing some paint chip off the false ear she wore. She noticed a slight tear in the wings on her back. The ruby weighed against her neck. Shades felt weird on her nose. She leaned her forehead against the mirror as tears trailed down. She then lifted her head off the mirror and took in her form. I'm still pretty, right? She tried to convince herself she was still pretty, but all of the imperfections she saw and felt toward her otherwise. She used to be pretty, used to be perfect. Standing in front of her was a poor copy of what she used to be. She looked down. I'm the worst. What made me think this was a good idea? Another voice in her head emerged, telling her it wasn't her fault. It was those dumb high school girls who stole Sonata from herself. Stupid girls with stupid rainbow magic, stupid pony ears, and stupid color-changing hair. They were the worst. Not Sonata. She triumphantly snarled as she stared in the mirror and balled her hand to a fist. She looked into the mirror and once again noticed how pretty the woman was in the mirror. How she used to be. The prettiness that was robbed from her. She decided at the moment that she was going to avenge herself, or rather who she used to be. She was going to teach those meanies a lesson about taking important parts from people. Maybe by taking the important parts from them, she thought as her mouth curled into a wicked smile, I'll avenge the important parts of me, as well as Daji and Ari. Dummies won't know what hit them once Sonata's on their case. She felt the blood rush to her head, as her heart pumped wildly, thinking of all the terrible things she could do to those girls to show them just what she and her friends lost. Intoxicated by the flood of awesome ideas with which to extract her revenge upon those who stole from herself. She felt her chest expand and contract as her breathing quickened upon each awesome but terrible image that flashed in her mind. She giggled again, her laugh taking on a more sinister tone than earlier as she looked back into the mirror. She was now hunched over, smile now bearing, a crazed look in her eyes. She didn't think she looked pretty anymore. She looked monstrous, like a wolf ready to strike. She looked like the apex predator she knew she was in her heart. She looked beautiful. Nah, she was beautiful. She felt beautiful enough to destroy someone else's life. To feel the hopes and dreams slip through their fingers like hers had, striking pure terror to their hearts. She felt the clarion call of destruction as it pulsed through her very being. And there was one thing that they could never take away from her. Her inner siren. And that's it.
Yeesh.
Well then.
I wish there was more to this, but I guess it was pretty dark just by itself.
Apparently so.
Pretty disturbing. Pretty disturbing.
Yeah.